The plague was killing his people by the millions, but he overcame it. Anxiety, relevant then as it is now. Marcus Aurelius's teachings gave us coping mechanisms for all times. But what's his story? Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor who lived and ruled during the 2nd century, and Stoic philosopher known for his personal reflections in his writings called Meditations. Ruling during times of war and plague, he emphasized virtue, self-discipline, and rationality. His philosophy focused on accepting fate, controlling one's thoughts, and acting with justice and humility. He sought to lead not by power, but by wisdom and moral integrity. His writings continue to inspire leaders and individuals seeking inner strength and clarity in facing life's challenges. In today's modern context, in a world that often feels chaotic, uncertain, and overwhelming, the ancient wisdom of Marcus Aurelius remains profoundly relevant. As both a Roman emperor and a philosopher, he embodied the core tenets of Stoicism, a school of thought that teaches us how to live with virtue, resilience, and clarity. His Meditations, a series of personal writings reflecting on life, duty, and self-discipline, continues to guide individuals across centuries. Especially in times like the global pandemic, we can find solace and strength in his timeless principles. Let's explore 8 key Stoic principles drawn from Marcus Aurelius's teachings and see how they apply to leadership and personal development. One of the most profound lessons from Marcus Aurelius is the importance of placing people at the center of our actions. Stoicism emphasizes cosmopolitanism, the idea that all human beings are part of a single community. This was exemplified during one of the darkest periods of his reign, the Antonine Plague, which ravaged the Roman Empire during the 2nd century AD. Rather than retreat into fear or selfishness, Marcus responded with compassion and responsibility, ensured that resources were distributed fairly, not for glory, but out of a sense of moral obligation. This principle reminds us that we must lead with care for others, putting people first and practicing kindness even when it's difficult. The Stoic leader doesn't act out of self-interest. They act because it is right. The current path might be closed, but there is always another way. Stoicism teaches adaptability. Marcus Aurelius believed that while external events may be beyond our control, our responses to them are not. When faced with obstacles, he encouraged finding alternative routes rather than giving up. He once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This mindset is crucial in times of disruption. During the pandemic, many businesses, schools, and individuals had to pivot rapidly. Those who embraced change, whether through remote work, digital learning, or new business models, were able to thrive despite adversity. This principle reminds us that setbacks are not dead ends. When one door closes, another opens, but only if we remain flexible, creative, and open-minded. The Stoic does not cling to rigid expectations. They adjust their course with wisdom and courage. We have to take the action. Marcus Aurelius understood that progress is made not through grand gestures, but through consistent, deliberate action. He often emphasized the importance of focusing on what is immediately before you, rather than being overwhelmed by the enormity of a task. Stoicism teaches that instead of worrying about the entire journey, we should focus on taking the next step. Whether it was adjusting to new routines, learning new skills, or maintaining mental health, the key was to take small, meaningful actions daily. This principle aligns with the Stoic concept of focusing only on what is within your control. By breaking challenges into manageable steps, we reclaim agency over our lives and move forward with purpose. Perhaps one of the most powerful Stoic insights is that anxiety originates not from external events, but from our own judgments and perceptions. Marcus wrote, "Today I escaped anxiety," or "No, I discarded it, because it was within me, in my own opinions." During the pandemic, anxiety was rampant about health, finances, isolation, and the future. But Stoicism reminds us that while we cannot control the virus or the economy, we can control our reactions. We can choose how we interpret events and whether we allow fear to dominate our minds. To discard anxiety is to recognize it for what it is, an internal response that can be managed through rational reflection, mindfulness, and discipline. The Stoic doesn't deny hardship, but faces it with equanimity, knowing that peace comes from within. Start your day with a morning routine that makes you own the day. Marcus Aurelius began each day with intentionality. He believed that starting the day with purpose laid the foundation for everything that followed. In meditations, he reflects on how one should greet the morning with gratitude and resolve. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. A strong morning routine allows us to set the tone for the rest of the day. Whether through meditation, journaling, exercise, or simply setting clear intentions, starting well gives us momentum and control. It helps us avoid falling into reactive patterns and instead operate from a place of awareness and discipline. One of Marcus's most famous maxims is, "Be tolerant with others, strict with yourself." This encapsulates the Stoic ideal of personal accountability. While we should extend understanding and compassion to others, even those who frustrate or harm us, we must hold ourselves to high standards of behavior and integrity. Being strict with yourself means cultivating self-discipline, honesty, and humility. It means not making excuses, not procrastinating, and not lowering your own bar. It's about striving for excellence, not for recognition, but for the sake of virtue itself. This principle is especially important in leadership and personal growth. In a world quick to judge others, Marcus reminds us to look inward first. True character is revealed not in how we treat others, but in how we govern ourselves. Be good despite other people. Stoicism teaches that other people are indifferent. They are not under our control, and we should not expect them to behave in ways that suit us. However, we always have the power to choose our own moral stance. Marcus often reflected on how to deal with difficult people. Begin each day by telling yourself, "I shall meet with the busybody, the ungrateful, the arrogant, the deceitful, the envious, the unsocial." Yet he did not respond with bitterness. Instead, he chose to rise above resentment and maintain his own goodness. Resentment harms the person who holds it far more than the object of it. By refusing to let others dictate our inner state, we preserve our peace and dignity. Obstacles become opportunities to practice patience, forgiveness, and strength. Eliminate the non-essential and focus on what truly matters. One of the central themes in meditations is the importance of simplicity and clarity. Marcus encourages us to constantly evaluate our actions and ask, "Is this necessary?" By doing so, we eliminate distractions and focus on what truly matters. By asking whether something is essential, we free ourselves from unnecessary burdens. We gain clarity about our values, our time, and our energy. And when we do fewer things, we do them better. Stoicism teaches that living a good life is not about doing more, but about doing what is meaningful with full attention and purpose. Marcus Aurelius's Stoic principles guide us to live purposefully, resiliently, and virtuously by mastering ourselves, embracing adaptability, acting with intention, and finding meaning in every moment.